chance to in that sequence. Another back air here. Needles, bouncing fish. Is that enough? Yes, it is!
I lied! We're back! And it's gonna be K-Rool taking on Emba starting out here. We saw just a taste of Emba in the beginning, or in the end of the last match, and now Emba is back out to play. The reversal right there with the invincibility, baiting Gio to do something, anything, but Gio holds the resolve, and that gives them another edge guarding situation, another chance to finish off this stock, but the up smash on shield with full rage, that will do it.
All three are going towards long. He's going to be able to isolate one. There's one. Can you isolate the second? Now this has become a 1v1. Here's the opportunity that Glitch was looking for. Spike not being held. Oh my comedic. Obviously that's Heard. Has to get on the spike. There's the head. Wait. Quick dash here from Morgiana though to open out this round. One's going to be pinged.
Okay.
Find one.
Okay.
Find two.
2 full force buys or full buys away from taking it into OT. That doesn't particularly help, nor does that. It may very well be it, though. The fact they took so long is going to be their Achilles heel, but they will be able to defuse behind that wall. I don't know if it's wall bangable. It doesn't matter. Glitch will be able to find the shot they were looking for.
Coming in as reinforcements, gets a touch as well. There's still one more defender in the name of Troy,
Ooh,
but no
demo.
longer with the demolition.
Nice.
Fired shot from Zernite ties it up. We're trying to see if Zernite can split open this goal differential a bit more. They have made themselves go under less pressure here. Vaudable didn't have 17 shots registered on them, but they might in this game. Number 3
does go the perfect direction for Pelosa after they give it off to the other side. They're trying to go for the center. They're trying to go for the bump, but they can't get anything. Grasping at straws, and they have buttery fingers as it goes the other direction, and FIU take the victory.
It's always got that conga line in terms of power and being able to know who's going in first. And there goes Sizer with a 4K, and they're still actively trying to scale this space. Look at this Pristine coming straight on up to Zyza. There's one right behind him as well. Looks like Visor might fall, and that's exactly what happens.
What started out with yet another Pristine opening pick has turned into a 1v1 that Anchor desperately needs to win. Time starting to tick, and Anchor will deliver.
Getting that aftershock down. And now we wait! And this aggression! Oh! Henzo!
Damage. Oh, they put the Immortality Field down. Another Coalescence out from Grebka destroys that Immortality Field. The Maywall trying to play a defensive blockade, but it's just not going to be able to. Both Lucios down. Cammy bites the bullet early on, and the Annihilation gets annihilated with the rest of Staten Island.
Now, Primal online, Nanoblade almost as well.
Oh, Nanoblade comes out. Wow, poor Grebka. How many deaths on the board? Doc has gone down. It's a 4K from Chongyun, and it's a very impressive one at that. A wonderful opening from Staten Island for some reason. Okay, I'm back. Blade is going to be coming out from Ice Rare. It does not have a Nano behind it, but it does have a Kitsune Rush. Grebka gives their life for a noob as well. It's a 3-for-1 trade. Let's make it a 4-for-2 trade in favor of Staten Island. They lose their tank and their support, but Chongyun basically fills the role of the tank, goes for possibly the final fight. Can Doc find anything with this overclock? It's going to be Ice Rare that finds one. Doc does go down to Chongyun as well. Both these Genji's critical condition, but Grebka has fallen. Cringe not far behind, and this should be the beginning of the end for Staten.
Welcome in, everyone. It's time for some esports. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside a long-lost caster friend that decided to run away, but he's come on back. It's Flater coming in hot, ready, and good to go as we are going to present to you some ECAC Esports Week 3 Elite Division for some good old Valorant here as presented by Esports U. Flater, we're getting some Valorant. It's been a long time since you and I did 4 best of 3s in a row, 12 hours of casting. This one should be a lot less. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. So excited to get back into some Valorant action this time. A best of 3 series. You know, the action is at the very top, and the teams today, Monkey, the teams are just some of the best we've seen in the business. We've got USF going up against Adelphi of Valorant Gold. What do we think about them?
Well, I'd say that we do see these programs somewhere near the top, but right now they're filling out kind of the bottom. Adelphi, right now the Panthers are at 0-2, and like you know about their current divisional play, that's not a great place to be, especially if you're trying to qualify into the big playoffs at the end of it all. Luckily for them, there is still a full round robin to be played. On the other side, across from them, the Bulls, 1-1, coming from a very stout program at University of South Florida, and of course, they're at 1-1, just not exactly the most perfect situation, but you know, we're going to do another best of 3. Let's go ahead and check out our maps as well. I mean, Flater, it's going to be pretty much bottom standard, except one right in the middle of our regular Collegiate Classic.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the race to the top, right? And it starts right now. 0-2, 1-1, USF. Here's a chance for them to bring that lead onto the scoreboard, and for AU to open it up. You know, they've had a rough couple of weeks, but this time, finally, maybe we can see a change in pace. Maybe we see USF finally taking that a win again. So we'll have to find out. But looking at the maps here, we've got Adelphi picking up Ascent as the very top. USF will be going on defense. Next map, Sunset. Man, this thing is showing up more and more as we're getting more into this Valorant season, and the decider, of course, if we get there, is going to be Bind. What do we think about these map picks?
Well, I know that just this last week, I was actually playing a lot of Sunset. You know, shout out to Chaotic Execs, as we're, you know, like 1-4 in Premier Play, but that's okay. Ooh. But there was a lot of Sunset that was being played, in fact. And so that map in particular, I think, is coming up about as regular as we've seen with Ascent. Maybe not just as much, because the granddaddy of them all, of Ascent, is still here to play. Bind, I think, will be kind of, I think it may be a foregone conclusion, depending on how these first 2 maps really go. But we have our first measuring stick here, Flater. It's going to be Ascent. It's going to be the one that we've all seen before. I think the key difference I've seen over the last few weeks is really how Sentinel play has come to influence the meta, especially because a lot more players are deciding to bring in that deadlock.
Yeah, you know, earlier we used to see such aggressive actions. The rounds would be over in about 30-25 seconds, but now it's more of a controlled plays. And as higher you go in ranks, the more controlled gameplay we see here. And looking at the roster coming in from both sides, USF picking up the Killjoy from Kilroy, of course. 4K Anderson picking up the Jet. It's Quacky on the Omen. Gabe is running the Sova, and Quester will be on KO. We do see a Cypher coming in from Adelphi. And on the attack side, having a Cypher on map Ascent, I'm not sure if I've seen that before.
I have, but it's mostly been from starter kits on defensively, but Cypher has come right back into their own when it comes to Ascent, especially as a great kind of opposition when it comes to Killjoys. They have great post-plant hold, especially from tripwires as well as cyber cages, to be able to give yourself onto site, and I think that they really kind of are that slight replacement of the nerfing that happened to the Sentry turret. But, you know, for a lot of Killjoys, the Sentry turret, 180 degrees to 100 degrees, they have it mostly pointing in one laser focused direction anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. The biggest diff that's coming into this, you have a different initiator, a different controller, and that different Sentinel, as you got the Sky, who did get nerfed, and people have been having to work around having one less bird.
Oh yeah, it's tough for the Sky folks out there. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about.
Are you a Sky main? Are you a Sky main, Flater? Is that did that
no,
hit you
not
hard?
Anymore.
Oh no, no! Oh, no longer the flavor of the week. Where have you moved on to, Flater? What's your next big agent? What do you got?
Oh, I'm running the Rays, man. You just jump in, try for the best, pick up the judge and then like, boys, I got this. B main, I got this.
Wow. So it's, I guess you're not nerfed if you're able to just go out and get kills. So, you know, that is one way to approach an initiator. It's like, you know what? I no longer will flash my team. I no longer will hemorrhage and hurt them. I will simply go out and explode. Well, maybe that's what we'll see coming in from both of these squads. The Bulls trying to pull off tough. They've had a rough start. They went 2-1 to start off week 1 to squeak out their first win. They went 0-2 against BPC, that Bruton Parker club. And the Panthers, well, they've got to be able to find their first one. Will these squads, in fact, be able to pull up, maybe to get 2 wins? Maybe the Panthers with their first. It looks like we're crashing onto A.
Crashing onto A, it's as aggressive as it can be. It's Kelly, VAL, pushing in, trying to just scare them off from tree, which they have already sight under control. The spike is down, and it is a 5 versus 5 retake. We see 2 players moving in from heaven. Gabe looking to lead the charge, but everybody seems to be pretty laid back at the moment. And they're just holding these positions. Finally, a couple of smokes go out. Amin has been blocked off. Here's Quacky. Needs to push in, but he needs to watch his corner because Darnell is looking quite scary at the moment. 2 kills as we see trades coming in. 4K Anderson not being able to trade this one out. Kelly, VAL, 3 on the board and 1 on the scoreline.
Kelly just doing what all Jets need to do, and that's really be high pace and get high rewards from it. And of course, they had great support. This is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to a good Cypher. They can put up the Cyber Cage, and that's kind of like a minimal investment. You can put that tripwire down in the middle of it if you want to get a kind of an X-ray scan. But Sentinels, when it comes to Ascent, very much can lurk, especially on attack. That you can see it from Killjoys. You don't have to depend highly on their swarm grenades, and so they can play much more off-site, and that's exactly where they had their Cypher playing into it. But you can play with pace as well, and that's exactly what Kelly's doing here.
And 20 seconds in, we already see AU rushing into B side. 4K Anderson tries to survive, but he's been cornered, and just like that, USF is down to the last 2 players who have been spotted a couple of miles away. Kelly VAL pushes out. He needs a couple more kills. He's gonna get 1. Just down to 20. Not 20 for too long. 2-0. AU with a quick round win.
Some aggressive question mark and all chat type buy, as they actually got a Vandal buy there in round number 2 out of Kelly, but I guess they were feeling it. They had 3 kills. Now they're already up to 5-1 here on this first set, as this attack so far out of the Panthers being very aggressive. They do not want to allow the Bulls to get in a more kind of comfortable position. So you're going to have this mixture of the 2 rifles, make it 3 with a couple of Spectres. Not quite a bonus here, Flater. It looks like Panthers really want to just run it down and push this point.
Man, this is the kind of aggression that I was used to seeing in the previous seasons, and I'm loving to bring it back. You said, I mean, we talked about how the game was going to be much more slower paced, and, you know, it was just the first 2 rounds, but it doesn't look like, with the way they're playing, it's going to stop anytime soon. Here it is, another peek comes in. Coaster, great shot. Kilroy hiding in the corner. He's got a Phantom in his hand. Spots the first player, using a lot of bullets here to take down 1. Doesn't spot the head, and Koof is going to take care of him.
Yeah, that's going to be a big upgrade, especially from Spectre over into a Phantom, and so they're now playing for that plant. Z committed the weirdest jump I've seen any sort of Sova do, as they kind of took a little hop with that owl drone, but no, it's just been running, skipping, jumping, and Kelly, well, they're gonna catch one of the dome. They don't get cleared, and in fact, Anderson is able to find a couple. Avo! No, they go down, being traded after find Joester, and that's Gabe that eventually finds that pick, but man, Bulls, they drop at least 3, an expensive round, but same to be said of the Panthers. They did not play for that bonus, so we're gonna go 2-1.
What a chaotic last few seconds there for Anderson. He just pushed in towards the A main. He's walking on the flank. He's like, all right, boys, free kills, 1, 2, 3. And sight fell. Just like that. Great plays from the defense overall, and for AU, I'm not sure what happened there. They had a lot of smokes going. I do think Kelly got a little too aggressive, pushing in towards Heaven, trying to take care of Heaven and Main at the same time. So USF is going to take that round, but now looking at the economy on the offensive side, it's down in the drains.
Well, same thing is true of the defense. They're relying on a few Spectres. You got some Guardians. You already have the frag that's putting out, and Kelly, who has a Blaze Storm, and then catches a Guardian bullet straight to the old dome. They walked right into the smoke flaters. So that's one way to get rid of all 5 knives.
I mean, There are two ways of going about it. Either you get an ace there, or you go straight to spectators. He chose a latter. It's fine. He'll try again some of the time. Anderson pushing in. He's gonna get a free kill. I'm not sure how he keeps walking away with this. Z, I was gonna take care of him. The bomb's gonna go down, and it's a 3 versus 4 with the attackers not having a lot of health remaining, but they don't need health if you can push in shots like that. One more from Avo. Coaster finds one. It's a 2 versus 2. Coaster. Somebody stop this man because he's being very scary with this Guardian, and just like that, a couple of taps to the head give USF the sight one more time and the equalizer on the scoreboard.
Those were some crispy taps right there. They're gonna have at least a couple weapons that they can pick up and make their arsenal at least a bit upgraded. But both sides were in the bargain bin, and you know that they were kind of playing into the next round just to be able to get scrappy. The biggest thing that we're seeing right now is where's Anderson going to be set up? They have a 4K in their name. They've got an operator in their hands, and we're wondering if that's going to be really important and impactful going into this, as now we have a 2-2. And usually when we get to 2-2 outcomes, Flater, one team had played bonus, and there's a little bit extra cash, and it's gone the other direction. This time, it's a full rifle round. So we're going to see how this will be impactful, and that operator's out in mid, seeing no one so far.
And back into A side, looks to be a pretty similar formula up until now. It's Kelly VAL pushing in towards heaven. No early aggression from the defense this time. This could be a retake yet again, and that is the plan. Last time they did it, they were caught off guard by the Cypher. I'm hoping AU can get something going for them this time as well. Ults push in, flashes go out, and of course that nerf from Sky, we see it here. No more fake flashes. You will have to back down. Kelly finds one frag. Anderson is just holding on back for a little more, but there they go. The site finally clears. They have an opening here. They can push in right about now. Trades come in left, right, and center. It's Kelly VAL coming out on top here. It's still alive, and with not a lot of time remaining. Here's a shot. Gabe FPS 2. The last man is the Brimstone. Do you not have enough time? I don't think so. Anderson loses a lot of knives yet again, and Koof is going to be the cleanup crew for AU. Comes out on top and keeps the lead here in the first half.
So that was a whole lot of aggression when it came to a couple of different ultimates. The first one being Koof on that orbital strike. They, instead of trying to just kind of utilize it and save it for later, they were kind of deep into A main. They used it up into heaven to distract and take away from that space. But that also, there was already kind of this crush rush coming down from heaven over into that Ginny, and it was very uncomfortable to place around the teammates. The other side of that, you had Anderson, who popped those Blaze Storms because they only had the operator and they wanted to be able to shoot a little bit faster. Couldn't really do too much of it. So now we get a second push over here onto B. This is only the second time out of the first 5. So I guess maybe the first 6.
Yeah, I'm expecting the pretty much the same outcome here. Once again, if you've got all the 5 players, or once you're in sight, B is really difficult to take back. Oh, so many angles. You could line them up, but let's see who gets lined up here. Oh, Anderson's trying to escape. Doran. He's trying to run the AK spray on the Vandal. That's fine. He does go down, though. Look at that. A couple more kills from AU as we're down to the last player from USF. Alive for not much longer. Kelly says bye-bye and takes another round for AU.
I'm very impressed right now. I mean, first 6, this first quarter of play, if we go through all 24, has been very impressive out of the Panthers, considering that they're currently 0-2. They haven't really had the closest of matches, especially, but this is a USF squad that's had to be rebuilt, I think, from the ground up. Their program obviously seeing a lot of growth, seeing a lot of kind of players kind of graduate, move onward, trade to different programs, and right now they're feeling those growing pains, and AU is taking advantage, looking hungry Flater for that first big series win. But of course, we're just inside the first 6, but AU's currently looking pretty clean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have been off to a great start. Even though USF did make a comeback, AU kept their calm, and you can see that experience shine a little more bright on the other side. But let's see. Now with the push towards A side, they're almost ready to go in, and they said, "Psych, we're not going in." Ooh, Z caught by the box. He's going to go down, and AU takes a lot of damage early on. Where did they decide to go next? They do take this to mid, and this is the very first time we see a rush fail on the side of AU.
Yeah, they kind of just put out the owl drone. Couldn't really get too much intel. They knew one was low and one was high, but then they didn't really want to trust kind of the cloudburst push that they've been getting in for a lot of different times. Gabe is able to find another kill as Kelly, the tip of the spear for this attack out of the Panthers, falls early, but Koof is at least able to get rid of Anderson and trying to lead in through, but they're falling to some of this util dump that's happening from this Bulls defense. Now, Kilroy all the way deep on site. They're looking to have to rotate again, Flater, and they're gonna have to march right through mid, and they are being tracked and shadowed by this Bulls defense all the way in their back spawn.
I want to see some flanks coming in here. I mean, this has been pretty standard up until now, but AU have got to be sneaky with these plays. They know it's short. Koister has been beautiful with the guns in the past, and he might do so again. Turns around, 2 kills. He's going to get the third. No, he's not. But he's done just enough damage. 8 seconds remaining. He needs to go for the spike. Flashed away, jawed down, and Gabe is going to take care of them. No, the spike plant refused as well. And this is USF bringing it back.
What a defensive stalwart stand. Gabe really was the highlight player. They got the initial Hunter's Fury pumping out, which can kind of be a 50-50 baseball swing. Unfortunate, obviously, for Z, as the double box was literally just trying to give him a hug. I think that body blocking is happening not just by teammates, but inanimate objects, Flater, and, you know, bad luck, if you call it one way, but just finishing a kill the other way for Gabe. They find the pick onto Kelly as they rush site, and that ultimately is what spelled the doom for AU on that push. So now, look at how they split this 2-3. They're really poking both sides, looking for a pick as Anderson goes mid.
Man, I love to see this. We're getting into that territory where everybody's starting to play mind games. The mind games begin now. It's for Anderson. Ooh, he spots the hit. He knows there's rotation coming, and the information has been given away. Kilroy off to a great start. He's gotten 1 here, and the action keeps on continuing as he's down to last 6 bullets. The man still alive. Koister trying to pick a couple of kills, and just like that, USF has walked all the way through towards B side. The calls have been made. They're trying to walk in. Kilroy is still alive. I'm not sure how this guy's surviving. Doran! Wait, what? Doran, what? Wait, how'd you get there?
He was just chilling in Marketplace. They walked by, didn't clear the corner. I think he actually rotated through Sky Smoke, and no one was prepared to see a Cypher just kind of come out from the sands. So regardless, you do have the no command also brought online as this plant is coming through. Kelly's trying to be able to hold their ground. AU's helping him out as well. It comes down to just being a 2v1 as the toaster can be plugged back in. They want to get some healing onto him. Gabe is trying to be a hero. Avo falls. Kelly is now going to get shocked out of their shoes, and they're going to have enough time for the defuse.
What a play from Gabe. You know, we continue to talk about this man. He has been nothing short of impressive coming into these clutch plays, just holding down the corners. And of course, you know, you got to talk about Kilroy there. The way this man held down B side for eons before letting AU push through it. He's got only a single kill, but the man survived. He survived for such a long time, giving his team so much time to get into position, stop the plays, which they did at the very end. Back onto the equalizer, USF is slowly trotting back into the game.
You know, every Killjoy has 2 turrets. The one that they put down from out of their wrist bracelet thing, and then the one that they become themselves. So they're able to stand there, at least resist what could be inevitable, and give their team time, intel, and the tech necessary. Anderson out here trying to be able to lay him low. Kelly is going to throw those knives straight back into the kitchen drawer, and that's going to be 1 ult and 1 bad duelist right off the board.
Oof, that's 2 ults just down the drain. What a shot, Anderson. Okay, keep walking out, keep peeking, and you get another. Doran's like, no, that's it. 3 kills on the board, but he's already done enough damage. Doran's pushing in. He's not gonna expect this flank from mid, and a tap to the head is gonna give USF their 3rd round win. 5-4, Monkey. Doesn't get better than this for USF.
I mean, they're trying to make it even better. They got at least a few left in the tank as they're trying for a minimum of 8-4 for themselves if they can. But let's talk about some recency bias that I'm totally going to start like lifting the banner for here, Flater. Gabe has brought this team right up from what was a 4-2 well of defeat. They were not feeling good in those first 6. Gabe is at 11-5, but looking so crisp. They're already set just 1 away to get back to their ultimate. Anderson, off of plays like that, I haven't seen a 4K out of him yet, to their namesake. Did get to see the 3, and that's really what opened up the can for Gabe to continue to be confident. They're going to try and rush this through. The Seeker's going to go out, and they're going to at least get the cabbages to give them some good intel.
Well, some information has been given, and look at that. Kelly's always hiding in these sneaky corners. Kilroy's gonna go for the reload, and Kelly says, "Thank you. I'm gonna take that cool Quacky." However, actually does see it coming. He's gonna get the trade. Z, I'm surprised he didn't go out for the peek this time. He's trying to be as patient as he possibly can. The smokes go out, and this is a 4 versus 3 retake. Anderson still alive in the corner. He's gonna take down the wire. There's the peek. The Cypher turns around a little too late. Z's hiding in that corner, and it's an absolute massacre. 4K Anderson. Anderson, ooh, that's a lot of misses, but finally does get the kill. USF actually managed to take the side back. I'm very surprised this was the outcome of this round, but they go up by 2.
Same two that are currently hanging out at the top of the scoreboard are the ones that are able to overtake that corner, and it's kind of strange, Flater, because it feels like AU is doing all the right things. They were able to infiltrate, but they haven't stopped the tide, and its name is Anderson and Gabe. A strange one. I don't know if the Weather Center is going to be putting that on the next hurricane, but it feels like this storm is currently coming up, and the Bulls are at the helm of it. You've got Ultimates online for Anderson, Blaze Storm that's going to be for later, Hunter's Fury. I wouldn't be surprised if Gabe is going to use it soon, and that lockdown, which really can get them some re-entry if they wanted to.
And it's about time we see some of these ults coming in. There was a lot of gunplay, but here they go. On the retakes, you can have glory to yourself. So let's see. Early push towards B side. Kelly VAL opening this one up. AU looking to switch this one up. Here we got Gabe running the Hunter's Fury. No spots just yet. That might be a kill. There it is. Perfect timing. Kuf goes down. The spike has been planted. It's a 5v4 now.
Z all the way at the other end of their HP bars, save one. But Kelly really tight holding this corner for that re-entry. They're going to use the Owl Drone, going to tag them out, and at least going to pressure them off. But Z, this is going to be a pivotal position and this play, because at this point in time, yeah, Duranald, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but they're holding for this Hunter's Fury situation. It is a 4v1. They're going to try and at least get the wide swing on him. I'd say they back off, play directly away from it. They know that it's going to be tapped in, so they're going to play into that ultimate. They get it halfway. The problem is that they have to get right back to site, because it is in fact half, and they can't get the lineup, Flater. So Z, oh, just a player left alone, and that's gonna be another one for the Bulls.
Monkey, you know, I'm pretty sure I have my eyes open through the entire round. 5 seconds earlier, I see it's a 4 versus 5. AU has complete control of the site. 5 seconds later, Z's the last man standing. What?
I mean, you see Anderson and Gabe at least got 3 kills in that round. So that's what tells me a lot of what exactly just happened. So, yeah, they've not been able to keep from dying. That's been the problem. Kelly is at 14-9, and the rest are either even or less. So, bit unfortunate. Oh, and off of the scan, Anderson gets rid of 2. He's just marching in for free.
And I'm not sure how he keeps getting away with this, and Kelly on the other side tries something similar and gets absolutely demolished by, of course, it is Gabe. Kuf up in towards mid. Kilroy's gonna find another kill, and I'm not sure if that's the place where you want to ult at, but okay, he's alive. Last round in this half, not sure what else you can do. Facing 2, the lineup will not come through. Quacky takes care of him. It's 8-4, and Monkey, just as you imagined, USF is gonna get the best possible outcome.
Yep. All right. So they were at a 2-4 disposition through the first 6, and then since then, never looked back. Looked flawless from the second half of the first half onwards. So we will in fact have the flip halves, and this map is both default and divisive, Flater, because some say that it's, you know, all attack all the time, and really that is the stronger position for Ascent, because everyone knows how to just execute at this point, and you're at a numbers disadvantage. But it has really been the fighting ability to steal space, especially by both Anderson and Gabe, that have been dictating success for the Bulls. Gotta see what they can do now on attack, and we gotta see some confidence out of the Panthers. They have to take that space just as much.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Kelly can get something going, because, you know, these two Jets are two sides of a coin. You can have the time of your life pushing in and have no troubles, you know, and nobody stopping you. But right now, it doesn't look like that's the case for Kelly, at the very least. Anderson, he's having the time of his life. Here they go. The pushes keep on coming in. Ava's gonna peek out, but it's a classic, and there's not much else you can do. Goes down without a single kill. Z actually found a kill through the wall there. Look at that. Beautiful plays. 4 versus 4 as AU is trying to hold down the site, and USF hasn't found an entry yet.
So they're trying to re-navigate, and they're all out in mid. They may be inviting a little bit of danger off of the swing peak there by Z. They get a little bit of extra damage as they're just hanging out right behind that wall. They're sending it in two, and they go straight into the fray. A bit of disrespect onto Z as they're just not able to hold that mid position, but you now have Donald that is just holding all the way deep B, and at this point in time, there's really just where in the world is that Spike going to go? They travel all the way to spawn, and now they have a free side on A, and it's a 4v1.
Wow. And you know, it's always the same thing. It's the flash of an eye, it's a flash of a second, and you know, of course, collective actions of each and every single one of these players that get them kills. Anderson, whew, sweet kill there, 3K for the man yet again as he puts down the dancing sticker. It really just, you know, shows how he's feeling right now. He's feeling at the top of the world, 1 round away from double digits, Monkey Man. It's really starting to amp up here, and for AU, you've got to start winning.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's 7 in a row right now for the side of the Bulls. They looked like they were being tested into that first half later, and right now it's like, all right, what do? Do you force up some of these? It looks like sheriffs and marshals will be called. Kelly's going to try and get some impact plays. You do have a sheriff as well in hand for this squad, trying to be able to win that jet duel, not quite getting it as they're just going to kind of blind pop into the smoke. You know, that's pretty standard course, especially as you're just looking for a pick to kind of slow down what could be a very fast push. You don't have much to defend against it, but they really need to turn this into a thrifty if they want to get the momentum.
No, it really comes down to this round right here. You want to have as much space as you possibly can before you hit double digits, and for AU, this is really it. But look at that, where USF is looking ahead. I mean, I'm looking at the map here. All you have to do is take care of a Cypher, which is of course easier said than done, but it's just one man. How hard could it be? That's what going on inside USF's head. There it is. They've already skipped the wire. It's gonna go. The suppression is gonna go out as well, taking care of Cypher once and for all. The bomb's gonna go down, and just like that, the side has fallen. It's a 4v5 retake, 5v5 retake.
You know, I always feel bad for every Cypher, every Killjoy, whenever all of their gadgets and gizmos aplenty get laid down, and you know, you don't get to ever really use them. Just, it's like, why do I even have these toys? Trying to be able to throw the guiding light out, and just even spraying. The Bulldog with a triple spray on ADS is able to do work. They find a couple big picks, and now they want to walk it into stairs, but really this is not at all free. Looking for a fourth, and again, I have yet to see the 4K for Anderson, but they still are at least good for 3. Pressing right back onto site, and they only have 1 to go as Kelly's at least trying to get some big picks. They teleport next to them, 316 as a decoy, and Coaster will be able to get rid of Kelly.
Man, I'm not sure what happened with Z there, but he did really paint a very amazing picture of Quacky. All the bullets just around them, not you know, in them. Well, it is what it is. 10-4, 3 away from taking map number 1. Now, Monkey Man, if we're looking at the grand picture here, what did AU do wrong after the first 4 rounds, or what did USF do right that has resulted in such a huge score differential?
I mean, they've started stealing that space in mid whenever they were on defense, and that's really the biggest difference because you see the impact plays out of both Gabe as well as Anderson. I think Anderson obviously always had to be that player, just like they are now, winning trades and even doing it with a lesser weapon, but it was Gabe who's also able to really open up doors like that. And so they're trading the weapons around, USF on this big bonus, and this is exactly the measured kind of attack as well as defense that they had before. And Gabe, off of attack, they know where Koof is, and they also got proof that no one else is there to help him out.
But are they going to take advantage of that? Yes, we do see the push coming in, but look at that. Kelly's just waiting. He said, try. Please try pushing into the smoke, and yet again, what do we see? It's Kelly tapping heads. He's got backup. No, he doesn't need it. It doesn't matter. He's already got the first kill, trying to catch the Sova. He's going to be closing in on him and jumps up into the air. It's a show of strength. It doesn't matter if he goes down. He's going to trade him out, and it is a 2 versus 1 with 2 versus 2 rather, with AU on the retake. And look at that. Quacky sees it coming, crouches down, takes the first head. Z's the last man standing here. 125 health to work with. Not a lot of utility remaining. He's just going to go push in. Does he find the first kill? Nope. Everybody's gone through, and the spray doesn't connect. Coaster takes him down, and the scoreline hits 11.
Poor Z. They were constantly chasing kind of a circular strafe motion, and at this point in time, it is 9 in a row from the first half into this half for the Bulls, and it looks like that the bull rush is really paying off, and they may be able to streak their way down this street and just be in time for a quick 13-4. But AU, let's check them out. There's going to be a force buy here. They don't want to give up this fight for free, but that's also going to paint themselves into a corner flater. You got one rifle, a sheriff, some specters, and discount bargain bin coupons shared among them. AU, this defense is desperate.
Oh, and they are. You know, I do have to mention here, Kelly played some of the best rounds. And even then, they managed to lose. You know, he got 2 at mid, but it really came down to positioning. As you said, they take on mid, they just scatter up the defense and find the sites at the right moments at the right time. Look at that. Beautiful play by Kilroy. Kelly's going to find the trade, though, as Kilroy looks to push mid. There's the peek, and Kelly survives. Ooh, both of them actually survive with about 40 health remaining. Looking to push in towards a site from short. It has worked out in the past. It might work out again as the sky goes down. A was just dancing at you. You boys want heal? Oh, somebody's there.
They had some of that happening because they were trying to jump to get up to heaven to give them a little bit of that extra good touch, but the overgrowth just couldn't reach. So down goes Sky. Not an uncommon occurrence, but also you have kind of a limping situation from not just your defense, but out of, you know, at least your opening kit with the Bulls. There's no ultimate save the Blade Storm if it really needs to get popped from out of Adelphi if they wanted to, but they also are going to have to push through some util. So they will go through, and this is actually the best bet. You're going to be able to get a blind spray into that dark cover. You also have the null command that is live and loud. That means all gadgets are offline, and now it's just Koof who will have to bust right back in. If you're at this point, do you play for the hero 1v4, or do you just save that weapon? I feel like you just got to go all in.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreline is just too far broad to care at this point. Koof off to a great start, down to 30 though. Can he get these last 2 players? He's just pushing in. Time is ticking down. Koof, it really all comes down to him. Has already been spotted. 6 bullets now, and that, I believe, is a one-way. As he shows up his legs, he's like, yeah, no, I've got no option here. He's just gonna be shooting up bullets left, right, and center. Peeks out, misses the first few, and the time has gone all the way down. Both of the offensive players will go down here, but would it really matter? Because they have hit 12, and Monkey, that means they're 1 away from taking the game.
Yeah, tossing out both your weapons. That's a good old GG on the keyboard. So they got to be feeling that. They at least get some out of the Bulls, but even with those exit frags, they get 1, maybe some extra cash, but look what's left to go. You're going to have 2 rifles. I think they have actually enough to get a rifle onto Z. They're trying to go for this game plan. I believe Kelly is going to be going for the Blade Storm and pretty much maybe a shorty, whatever else can fit in their back pocket. Otherwise, this should be an inevitability for USF. I've seen greater perils overcome in moments like these. I literally just the other day saw an 11-1 become a 12-12 and go into a double OT that was winning for the comeback squad. Anderson finds a pick onto Kelly, and there goes that Blade Storm.
There goes all the 5 knives back into the kitchen. Yet again. That's the 3rd time. And honestly, if Kelly's gone for 4 ults, 3 of which have been the exact same result. The man's aggression plays at the wrong direction has resulted in a couple of kills for the other team. 4K Anderson off to a great start, takes down Avo, and site has opened up. Look at that. It doesn't matter though. They're already on their merry way towards B side, and B, Monkey, it's empty. They got nobody for miles.
I'm pretty sure we are several miles in the sky wherever this particular map decided to float up to after the Grand Ol incident that put it here. But even further is every agent that wants to play Encounter to encroach upon the Bulls. It's a 5-player hold. Panthers trying to push, at least from backside CT Link. Do they clear logs? Not fast enough. Z gets rid of Kilroy on that trade. They're going to be able to find a second one, but it is Koof versus the world, and they're going to have to win this one. But first touch and the final 4K finally found for Anderson. 13-4, go the Bulls.
A click heard across all 10 players to find that final kill, and of course it is Anderson. Did he get the 4K? At the very end.
He did.
Okay, finally. Man's satisfied now, but that was Ascent. We've still got another round here, Sunset, but Monkey Man, we got to talk about this one. Adelphi, such a great start. And we all know what happened there. You know, you said they started taking in mid, but at the core essence, I believe there was just a lot of unlucky plays, especially for the Jet there. And anytime the man pulled out his plays, Tom, anytime the man decided to go towards one of these pushes, be it A main, try to open up a bit of spacing for his team, he really just was rejected.
Yeah, just nonstop. And I think that really the biggest turning point is when this game became 4-4. So it was what, round 8, and that was the big final push. I believe that was on B that was able to finish out that round. And what a heck of a play that was all the way in backside. Gabe able to do absolute work for their squad. Obviously, Anderson comes up 27-13, just short of a 30 bomb, just like Jets ought to do. But I wholesale believe in Gabe as really being the catalyst for change for the Bulls to go the right direction. But you and I, just like you said, we're going to be going into game number 2. Final thoughts before we take a short break?
Man, this has been a fun one. I do want to see some agent switch-ups. I feel like Gabe could come in with a duelist as well if he wants to. Not that his solo abilities have been anything short of impressive, but the man's been racking up kills, and maybe he could get a couple more in if he goes for a bit of a me play. Sky to raise. We'll find out.
We'll find out just after this. You guys stick with us. The Week 3 matchup between Adelphi Panthers and, of course, those University of South Florida Bulls will be coming up with Sunset right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Esports U, showcasing some Week 3 action for the ECAC Esports Conference. And of course, I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Flater, as we are going to go into map number 2. Flater, we got to see a lot of Ascent. I think there's no other Valorant caster that has never said that, because we see a lot of Ascent all the time. However, Sunset has come into its own identity, and I think it's now getting played and actually compared a lot to Ascent, mostly because you can fight from mid and play directly to those funnels into sight.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I've never thought about Sunset that way. I don't usually think about Sunset because I don't like that map. But
Oh, wow.
but okay, that's just my opinion. Sunset can be amazing, at least if you think about it that way. I mean, the defense has got a lot of flanking opportunities there, and you know, we didn't see a lot of flanks and lurks coming in on Ascent. Maybe Sunset can do it for them, and maybe Adelphi is able to use it to their advantage. They're on the attack, so the lurks need to come in clutch here.
I need to see what kind of composition they decide to go with. I've seen a lot of good work when it comes to Gecko onto this site. I think that Harbor has really kind of a good design, especially for their high tide, to be able to move in, kind of really craft a nice wall. And then obviously it's about, all right, do you hard secure with Sage on this wall and to be able to get yourself onto B, or are you swinging for elbow and swinging for the fences? I can't wait to find out. I want to see what identity we go to, but let's go to map number 2. It is up here right now. It could be an 0-6 venture if Adelphi were to fall. You know the Panthers are craving the success they had early in Ascent, and to bring that to Sunset.
And I mean, we really need to keep that in mind, right? They had 4 rounds taken in a row. If they can get that momentum early on and keep going with it, unlike last time, we might see something better. But here we go. The rosters are being picked up here. Look at that. It's 4K Anderson this time, trying to hover on the raise, and Locke's gonna come through. Okay, nice. A switch up from the Jet. He's, you know what? I'm tired of jumping, dashing, putting all my knives back in the kitchen. We're gonna go boom on to Sunset. A Cypher comes in from Kilroy, all right. And on the other side here, of course, what we wanted to talk about, the attackers. We've got a Cypher, a Brim, Sova, Doran with the Raze, and Kelly on the Reyna. All completely different duelist lineups here from last time. What are we thinking about that?
So Cypher is a hard staple for this map in particular, because especially from Defender's side, as long as you can be able to quickly throw up your Cyber Cage onto B main, it is impassable, and without having to sacrifice at least a smoke to go and look for the trap wire, and is basically a free dub every time. I kind of like the concept. You get a Raze as well as the Breach combination. That has been a pretty good staple together as well moving into this place. They're heist buddies. They love to go crack a bank open and take what's inside, and so to have that with Cypher makes a lot of sense. And it's also going to be the same starting positions for the Bulls onto defense, and I think that fade works very well to be able to get a lot of aggressive intel. Opposite of that, you got the Sova, and I don't know, you were a Sky main. Was that your only initiator there, Flater?
Oh no, I was an initiator all around, but on a map like Ascent, Sky was always just like my go-to, especially when you're going up against a Cypher or Killjoy for that matter. You know, just get that information. If you got a Cypher, if you got a Killjoy, we either need a KO or we need to get out.
Okay, all right. So when you put yourself in the shoes, we got 3 initiators out here. None of them are Sky because reasons. So the Sova's gonna have to play to really get some good bang shots, get some good reconnaissance with that recon dart. But I want to see how well the double duelist concept works in, because you, on this attack, if you're the Panthers, you got to get the Reyna activated with that Raze.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this double duelist lineup pays off well for them. You know, Kelly could use a hand, and at this point, Doran could be a great ask as well. You know, we have seen flashes of brilliance coming in from Doran some of the previous rounds, but let's see how they can pull it up against a side. 4K Anderson off to a great start. Quacky says, okay, the duelists are already down. You know what? Down to the Sentinels and the Initiators. We've got Koof. He's got the first one down, flashed away. It's a 4 versus 2 already, and it's only been 30 seconds. Z, here he goes. No frags yet. Smoke's gonna be coming in, and sight is still blocked off. What do you do in this position? They're gonna go all in. They said there's no more time. We're gonna get cornered. Kilroy takes care of Koof, and that is USF coming out on top in round number 1.
This is also showcasing a bit of the power that you have as a breach. You can do such great stuns off of the fault line through a lot of these walls, and you can be so prepped for it, especially because you know whenever teams are going to crash in through gravel and otherwise into main. So good looks, and also you can get flashpoint pretty much everywhere. It feels like Sunset is an improved idea of oh my goodness, what is it? What's the one that's broken? The Fracture. There we go. Fracture. I knew it. So yeah, you can use a lot of space in that way. This is also a force buy. The Panthers apparently are going to get aggressive again.
All right, here they go. A-side push it is for Anderson. This time he's got a Vandal. The man finds a kill even if he doesn't see the enemy. That's just how he does things. Kelly VAL pushing in with a stinger. The flash goes out. The man's taking a lot of damage. 4K Anderson says, you know, it's a walk in the park. Okay, Avo, actually. I did think he was going to get the kill, but he finds 2. But it's dust settles. We've got a 1 versus 2 here. Z, here he is. All right, let's calm things down. 70 points of health to work with. The spike is down at sight. The position of the man is known. What does he do next? Decipher, Z, make your move, because Gabe is probably ready to see you coming in from A main. He said, you know what? I'm gonna take my sweet time. I'm gonna go all the way around.
Ooh, but they're playing as a buddy cop movie, and they're looking at, and they have their backs to each other, covering their 6. Z is not going to get caught, or they are going to get caught, and it's going to be a free angle, and there it is. Kilroy being a killjoy. Good for another one as they take down their counter spy operator and Z. So that's going to be 2 for the Bulls, and because that was a buy up by the Panthers, now the Bulls have a pretty successful bonus set in front of them.
Oh, absolutely. Look at that. We've got stingers all the way through. Z's going to be running the Sheriff. On the other hand, we do see a scout. Oh, well, this is not Counter-Strike. A Marshal in the hands of Gabe as he picks up a stinger as well. Look, okay. So, Monkey. So far, the defense has played phenomenally on A side at the very least, but AU continues to hit A. My question is very simple. Why?
They're playing for close quarters. They're playing to really get Kelly to have big value on to not just their Reyna, but also playing into those Lear blinds. You can do it through the wall and through the boxes, and that works very well to the Rays that they also decided to pick up. But me and my buds, we also run stingers in Swift play, and whenever we want to forfeit real quick. So I'm not exactly positive about what the Panthers want to do at this point. They're going to use the aftershock as well. Blind fire. They're going to put a lot of damage out into the dark cover, and no one's getting in for free. The spike is still in hand, and finally you get a kill as Durandal is able to at least get rid of Anderson, but that's 45 HP left on the draw, and they've got 4 more agents left to find.
Now, I love the play for an attempt at a close quarter action, but even the smokes and the flashes are just not working out well for them. And Doran, you know, he's got 20 health. He's already been started. Kosta's like, wait, I heard something. I'm gonna go out, take a couple of bullets to the head, and just like that, it's 3-0 for University of South Florida. Monkey. Things are amping up here, but this time we're not seeing early rounds from AU.
I'm a little concerned. I didn't see... Another thing that I didn't see, obviously no one saw, in the first map in particular on Ascent, whenever things started getting very streaky, especially with 8 in a row... No, sorry, 7 in a row at that point. We didn't see a timeout at all. The macro game is being ignored by the Panthers, and right now... It's very similar. They're forcing. Everything has been forced since the pistol loss. Pistol is your only neutral ground. And since then, the Panthers have decided, nope, we want to keep guns in hand. We're going to maintain guns in hand. We're going to take those loser creds, and we're just going to keep getting these bullets. Kelly trying to at least take some space out here in mid. They want to win this duel. You can feel some of that just palpable desperation.
It's that tunnel. It's getting tunnel visioned, right? It's the loss of that loss of that last game that really gets inside the duelist's head. Kelly's trying to show up for his team. He's trying his level best, but unfortunately, some of these duels are just too risky for that matter. Goop's gonna get spotted. Surprisingly, survives, but not for too long. 1 versus 4. Z's the last man standing. He's gonna go out with a smoke in his hand, but it's gonna get, well, shot on from 3 different directions. It's, I believe, 4-0 now for USF. Monkey. Saying a little concern is a bit underwhelming at this point because last time AU was off to a great start, you know, so they had that momentum going into the next couple of rounds as well. USF demolished it. I'm just worrying what will happen this time.
Yeah, it's 4 in a row. Finally, we're gonna have at least a few rifles for the side of the Panthers, and they've already got themselves set up for a one-way. That is such a tricky tripwire situation because not only will you get the one-way, but if they decide to walk into what is kind of a non-standard wire, they can also pop their second cyber cage, and they're fully protected as they're able to get a nice X-ray scan onto you. Kilroy already gets Kelly off the board. No scan is gonna come through as they're trying to play it from that dark cover, and Quacky has been extra aggressive as Gabe is doing much the same.
Oh, Z actually is going to take down Cypher there. He's still alive. He's looking for a couple more. Gabe takes care of him. It's a 3 versus 1. And even after all that action where you'd think AU might have a chance, if you look up on the scoreboard, it's a 1 versus 3. The Doran, he's just trying to survive. And survival against 3 who are closing in on you is, well, not going to happen. 5-0. Yep. And just like that, again, at the very start of the round, you know, with the way things were set up for the Cypher, you mentioned, they were pretty impressive. He got just 1. Even then, even if they got just 1, that was the duelist, and not being able to get into the site early on has resulted in a quick rotation and a quick shutdown of this push towards B site.
This is also why, earlier on you asked me why they were hitting a kind of in continuous sequence. Cypher's just locking down with their gadget placements onto B. Again, nearly just impossible to get around. And that's exactly why they're deciding to take over mid, get rid of door, and be aggressive. And finally, Kelly, they're going to use that Empress. They got the Stinger. They're going to lay Gabe out. That is one of kind of a 2-person core to be able to just lay low because Anderson is still alive. Quacky laid out by Z. Kilroy deep, and they are identified by this neural theft. Oh, trying to get them, and they are trapped. They're going to use that cyber cage. They want to walk out. They want to go to reinforcements.
Well, the reinforcements are coming. Here they go. Doran does take a kill here. 2 versus 4. Once again, the spike is already down, and this might be the very first time AU is going to take a round for Candace, and all he needs to do is get a couple of frags. 2 he's already got, taking down the economy as he should, as we're down to a 1 versus 3. And at this point, I mean, you don't want to peek him. The man's already gotten 2. Just let him be. Leave him alone. Let him live.
Yeah, this is, in any other player's world, this is a save round. It feels like by default it's going to end up that way, but Anderson is also hungry as a duelist. They still will peek into it. Anderson will go down, though, as Dorano will be able to win against their counter raise. So finally, they do secure a round. 11-4 goes the way of Anderson before they allow the Panthers to touch pay dirt, and we get a rifle round. This will be the first rifle round, and we are 7 rounds into it later.
Man, I mean, they did have you know, 3 or 4 rifles early on, but it really
full
did
rifle
not,
round.
Full rifle round, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see if even a single rifle difference can be huge, because so far it looks very heavily reliant on the duelist. The duelist already taken tons of damage. The smoke has gone through. Kilroy is looking to take a lot of kills here. He should be able to find at least 1, which he does. He takes care of him yet again. Quacky hiding around in the smoke takes care of Kelly. Kelly, you gotta be more careful with your life. You can't throw it away like that. The team left in a 3 versus 4 with USF closing in on them from all directions. They've got an ult as well. Gabe needs to stay alive, and there goes the ult. And yep, there it is. It is gonna be an absolute massacre as Anderson pushes in. They spot the raise. 3v1. A lot of time left on the spike as well. So he's gonna get spotted. All he finds is 1, and all hope is lost yet again. It is USF on the retake on the round with a 6-1 scoreline as we hit 8. Adelphi, not sure where you go from here.
They were playing extra aggressive into like every position that was left over. I love the Nightfall retake. Obviously, that's what that ultimate is kind of built into. But they played up more than to receive. And if you have the leniency to do that, I know this is 2020 hindsight. This is just monkey coaching. But if you have the ability to receive, I'd rather someone play much deeper from main, and to also have someone swing flank from marketplace if possible, especially because you don't know if all or just some of the numbers are going there, and that will give you kind of a better, more patient look to it. But this is the Panthers that, again, they have been able to own mid space, but I feel like it's just being rented to them by the Bulls.
It's a lure. It's a bait. Try coming in. Well, Kelly VAL is off to a great start. He needs to get a couple more kills here, and look at that. This aggression is what gets him every single time. You know, he gets a kill, maybe nothing, but even then, he's always ready to push through, try to gain in position as much as he can, and that is what proves to be dangerous for Adelphi. Hunter's Fury goes out. Koof actually takes care of one. It's USF down to their last player, but look at that. It's 4K Anderson. Oh, it took him a second, but the bomb is already on its merry way towards A site, and Anderson might sniff that happening.
Koof gotta get this plan down, and then they gotta deal with the most deadly player in the Bulls' arsenal in Anderson. They play for deadly close. This might be terrible. Yep, they are just clotheslining them patiently. Oh, man. Instead of playing deep into sight, you try to simply outwalk them or outrun them over to sight, and that ends up being a nice clutch for Anderson as they go into a 1v2 and take a dub. 14-5 here. Both from the shadows are in play. We had a lot of ultimate play like a few rounds ago, but otherwise it's just going to be swift gunplay, and again, it's the Panthers that are acting from a major deficit.
Oops. That's a miss. Anderson looking around like nobody saw it, right? But as
I never saw it.
I never saw it either. Yeah, you were gonna cut it out of the wall as well. But you know, you mentioned the Omen ults coming in, and I think it could be really huge. Granted, if they can get a couple of kills early on, wherever side they push through, this could be a round. I mean, an Omen ult is always around unless you don't get early on kills. Kelly is gonna push through, and oh my god, it's a different outcome. I'm just kidding. It's not. Kilroy takes care of him, and it's down to a 4 versus 1. Doran, stinger in his hand, actually ends up running out of bullets. It doesn't matter. Switches to the classic, and buys the dust with an 8. Okay.
Well, Anderson is still alive, and they're about to swing straight up from Marketplace, so you gotta be careful. If you're planting, that bomb doesn't end up going down except to the floor. They're trying to be able to trade him out. A quick flash, and now Koof, the only one, as they're stuck on the stairs, and now they're able to walk away from Anderson. They simply walk it out, but they have to get chased down by the Prowler as well. Oh.
I want to take a minute, just a second, to talk about Z there. The 4K was flashed. He was looking south. Z came in from the north. Spent 70 bullets, and he couldn't kill him. He's just like me for real.
Sometimes it just happens in real time. You get to see yourself in a mirror, Flater. It's like, wow. It's magic. That means you too can go to college and play VAL for your program. You know what?
Let's go.
I'm proud of you. You know what? You have a bright future in front of you. Oh, big trade. Someone in from Marketplace. Another neural theft. Anderson or Kilroy already waiting on it. They're good for 3, and Anderson is waiting for top side. They're going to re-infiltrate deep into Marketplace where they are very much stuck, and that's going to be Coaster that finds another, and Kilroy is good for 4. Added 2 times that 2K at the end of their name, and that's 9-1 through the first 10. Bulls are on parade.
Man, 1 away from double digits. I mean, you know something is wrong when both of your duelists are 4 kills down from your Cypher. There's on the attack at the very least.
It is a tough defense. I continue to, I will tout this from the mountaintops. Cypher on B on Sunset is impassable. Impassable. Because it's just so good of a set. And especially when you assist with something like this, you have a trap wire, and poor Kelly is getting blind fired through these dark covers. Kelly doesn't get to play the dang game.
He's not having a good day, but all right, they might start to have a good day. They've got the site, they've got the bomb down, and Kilroy's looking to push through. This man might be good for another. Oh, what a flick! 180 degrees turnaround. He's looking to do it again, but can't do it for all 5 players. Here's another round, and surprisingly, the entire roster just goes away after one of the players go down from the USF side. It's like they disappear. It's Infinity War over here. It's like, you know, we see the numbers dwindling, and we don't even know when and where is it happening.
I mean, they're able to at least get a solid pick. Avo, I mean, I know they're able to just, at this point, I think they doubled up their KD from 2 to 4, but I mean, heck of a flick. You could take that into, you know, some film, like, you know what, I did that. That's pretty cool. But right now we're at 10-1. And
the score line and the scoreboard.
Yeah, just put a hand over it, you know, just whole palm. Z currently with the neural theft, try to be able to do what they can with that. Opposite of that, Kelly's able to get Gabe. Oh my goodness, we were waiting for it. Quacky's actually on top of the box in mid, which is going to be an interesting position, but you also have Donald, who wins at least the first fight and then gets traded out. And for the first time in a while, the Bulls are in a deficit here in this final round of the first half.
Oh, it's not done just yet. It's a 2 versus 3. Kilroy spots 1. All he needs to do is find the right timing to peek out. 2 of them have made their way towards B side. Z's peeking. Oh, Z's gonna try peeking again. Kilroy ends up coming out on top. This man is on something else. There we go. A breach ult is out. He spots the legs, but he doesn't get the kill. He's gonna snatch him out of there, and he needs to go. Koof misses on the spray. Kilroy says, I could be a duelist for another day as Coaster peeks in. It's a 2v4 retake at the very end. Kilroy comes out on top, hitting 11 on the scoreboard with a show of strength that even the Cypher can mean business when it comes down to it.
I love that there's such a Cypher BM right now. Why? I know that we only just recently get to see Cypher live through one single cinematic from Riot. Thank you so much, Riot. My favorite boy gets to finally live. But like, come on. But either way, we get USF. They're 2 away now from absolute victory. I tell you in whole confidence and reality, I saw an 11-1 get turned into a 12-12, and the team that came back won in double overtime. Do I expect that to happen again in my lifetime? Probably. Do I expect that to happen again within the next 15 minutes? No. But I also give Panthers a chance to be able to fight on to this defense. I just want to see how they can respond because it is actually a full default.
Oh yeah, you know, even taking the pistol, even if they don't take the game right now, I want to see what is their response like. You know, maybe just start off and look at that. Kelly is already doing the exact same thing that we've seen him do. Be it offense or defense, he's going to continue to push in. What a shot from Z. He's going to get another here. No, runs out of bullets. Gabe takes care of him. Kilroy finds another. And USF has control of the site. They've control of the spike. And they also have control of their guns. Coaster finds another one. It's down to a 2 versus 4. Kelly went down earlier. I'm not sure when. But it is down to Doran yet again. 1 versus 4 as he goes for the site retake. Oh my god. Do you see how many lines are just peeking towards Doran there? And he still manages to come out on the top. 1 versus 3. Gets a couple of bullets in. They're miles away from him. And Doran keeps peeking out. And his luck is going to run out at the very end. Kilroy takes care of him. It is 12-1. Monkey.
The last time I had that many lasers pointed at me was when I had my daughter's birthday party at a laser tag place, and all of her and her friends decided to take me out. So, you know, I feel for Donald there, but 12-1. Bulls trying to make this long run into a speed run and see if they can be able to close out the night, maybe at a 13-1. They will have the weapon mostly advantage, as you do have the Panthers trying to fist fight to the very end. Mad respect to them as they keep on keeping on. The Bulls staggered for all of a second, but they're just kind of waiting to push on in.
Sunset Anniversary speedrun, ECAC.
It's not 13-0 at least, right?
Yeah, they won't get top 10. But alright, here they go. What a shot from Coop. Peeks out, gets another Quacky. Actually ends up finding them at the very end. Kelly is having a great time. Kelly's found 2. And USF is down to the last 2 players. That could be running out. Quack is down to 4. Here he goes. Kelly's going to peek out. Kilroy takes care of him. And as long as Kilroy is alive, there's hope. The hope runs out when you run out of bullets. So Donald takes care of him. It is 12-2. And top 20 is now out of the picture as well.
All right, so USF can't quite finish it in 14. So they aim for round number 15. And it was a full buy, and we're going to have basically scrappy buys until the very end here. There's no reason to save any of your bank. You're going to have light shields, full shields if you decide to go low. But otherwise, what can we actually activate with? 20-7 for Kilroy right now. Cypher maps. I mean, look, this is what this map is. It's a Cypher map, at least from the B side. We ignore B. We go A. A only.
Well, I'm expecting something. I'm expecting something huge here for AU. At least for a couple of rounds, right? You know, just right off of that momentum that they just carried, and Kelly is looking to do the exact same thing. This man doesn't give up hope, and I just respect it to the core. He's gonna continue being as aggressive as he possibly can. This time, however, Kilroy says, "Nope, no, you're not. Not this time." Getting in the position towards mid, get a couple more damage points done towards Kuf as the reveal goes out. They're looking to push in towards one of these sites. Mid control is huge, but what will they be able to do with it? Gabe, okay, does take down Donald, and AU is down to their last 3. Make it 2 as USF has taken control of A site.
Oh, you had at least one good trade down to their final one, but it took 15 rounds, a 13-2. And it's going to be the Bulls of University of South Florida that take it in a 2-0 sweep.
What a game. What a game. 12-2 there at the very end. Make it 13. It doesn't get better than that. Having 2 duelists, we really expected, Adelphi to do something great there. You know, maybe we could see a lot of momentum, some pressure off of Kelly. But another thing that I noticed was lacking on the offensive side was combination plays between the 2 duelists. They were always on the lurks or some of the aggressive positions, but that communication where you could, band them together, go for the early aggressions, go for those peaks, just was, I think, lacking in some of these offensive plays.
There was a lot of times, especially when you're playing into a double duelist situation, that we just didn't get kind of cooperative activation off of it. That's why, you play, if you get a raise in your jet, if you hit that onto split, they are playing in such a good kind of synchronous to each other. When we had Kelly and Ronald, it felt like a weakness and nothing really was in better step. You had a lot of utility that was kind of left behind, and if that's something that you can really kind of work on. Obviously, 0-3 right now for the side of the Panthers, as Adelphi is going to try and bounce back. For USF, the Bulls, they are able to find themselves on easy street through this first one, as they now are at 2-1. And again, we have a lot of teams here in the ECAC Elite Division that are trying to get into the top 4 of each of their particular divisions, so they can be able to make it into that 16-team single elimination bracket, maybe even qualify themselves for the big CECC at the very end of it all. But there was also one big player. I know that Kilroy had their awesome time there, Flater, but there was one big player that I think really kind of stood out between both maps, and that was in fact Anderson. I think Anderson was head and shoulders above everyone else. I mean, go figure, the duelist, but they did really, really well at an average 392 ACS. Oof.
Yeah, it really was some of the best gameplay that we've seen from a Jet on Ascend, and it really continued to pull through on the second map as well. 4K Anderson had a lot of 3Ks, but at the very end, the MVP is going to go to him. And of course, the 4Ks will, I hope, continue to come in for him. But USF is going to take this game against Adelphi in a 2-0 fashion. The 2-1 overall in the group stages. But Monkey, what do we think about Adelphi? What do they need to change going on into some of their next few games? They're at 0-3 now, and they really need to get that first win.
I feel like there needs to be some macro game establishment. They were at a 4-2 at one point in the first 6 on Ascent, and then there needed to be a timeout to be able to get everyone calmed down. Timeouts can be taken in football, where it should have happened with the Niners, as well as in Valorant, and that's what good coaching can bring you. Also, maybe talk about some agency and to maps that you're not exactly comfortable on. The Reyna felt like a weird pick. But either way, I feel like this program has a lot of upward momentum to be able to do them and be able to get some success, and we'll be able to see that later on. Tomorrow, we're going to have Rocket League at 7 p.m. That's going to be with Tugboat and Danger Taco, and of course, at 8 p.m., we're going to have Overwatch 2 with Clutch Key and 2 Try Hard Ray. So make sure to check it out, as more esports ECAC action will have great coverage. Thank you guys so much, Flater, Professor Layton, Cool Scoots, as well as Colton, for being able to cover our entire production. I'm Hell Monkey Man. You guys have been wonderful. We're going to be able to see you next time.